got the program back up and running. We're very excited about this year. We'll talk a little bit more about the budget, but we have the possibility to really almost have double our budget that we have in previous years, and we're looking forward to spending it with you and spending it well and really focusing this year on energy savings. We're hoping
your microphone has been turned on
about these programs and about spending all of this great money we have to provide these services for people in Illinois. And like I said, we just really appreciate your patience as we get everything back up and running, as we get the RFPs and the guidelines and everything out. Even though we're talking about this program year, just looking ahead already, because we're already a quarter in, we've filed our next EAPS plan. We have to do them every 3 years. So that plan has already been filed with the Illinois Commerce Commission, and we'll share program updates with you and how that'll change the program a little bit going forward once that docket moves forward. But even though we're already planning for program year 9, we're already thinking ahead to future program years. Like I said, we have pretty ambitious goals for this coming year, both in terms of energy savings and in our program budgets. The program budget doesn't take into consideration necessarily all of the rollover. That's also an open docket with the ICC, and we anticipate a favorable ruling, but we're going with what we currently have budgeted and anticipating having more. And hopefully that'll resolve itself soon. We should be hearing something by the end of the month, as what we've heard. Negotiations are ongoing. In order to participate in the Illinois Energy Now programs, you have to be within the utility service areas that are listed below. So for the electric utilities, it's Ameren, Illinois, and ComEd. And for the gas utilities, it's Ameren, Illinois, Nicor, North Shore, and Peoples. Unfortunately, if you're in a municipal electric service area like Springfield or Naperville, you unfortunately can't qualify for the electric programs, though you can qualify for the gas programs, and we currently don't have any programs available in co-ops. But we're always working to expand our programs and working with people in those areas, so just because you can't be part of this specific program doesn't mean we don't have ways of working with you. Like I said, we have 3 major areas that we work in: affordable housing, public housing, and residential retrofit. We have great partners in all of those programs, many of whom are on the phone right now, and will have the opportunity to hopefully speak or at least share some of the work that they're doing. One big question we get asked is, why do we run these programs? And the reason really is that it's some numbers that we've seen and program studies that we've had done show that poor households often pay upwards of 60 to 70% of their monthly income for housing. And reducing energy costs increases the affordability of the housing. It reduces energy consumption, lowers bills, lowers maintenance costs. It's an improvement in the quality of life for people, and we think that the Department of Commerce is the agency in the state best equipped to run these programs and administer these programs. So that is a long way of introducing who we are and what it is that we do. We're going to sort of now jump into our 3 specific sub-areas. I'm going to start with my colleague Rick, who runs our affordable housing programs, who's going to talk about the program directly administered by the Department of Commerce.
Hi, folks. This is Rick Fittement. Well, this is Rick Fittement, and I'll be talking briefly about the Energy Efficient Affordable Housing Construction Program. This program is targeted at the new construction and the gut rehabilitation, that is rehab right down to the studs, of affordable housing, that is housing that is available to households whose incomes are at or below 80% of area median income. Of course, you can always serve those who make even less money than that, and or the housing could be directed at those making lower incomes. But also, it is not necessary for every unit of your entire project to meet that standard. We do fund some projects where obviously the vast majority of the units are at or below 80% AMI, but there will be a few that will be offered at market rates. We only subsidize those, however, that are made available to those with incomes at or below 80% AMI. The program is open to for-profit and not-for-profit developers of low-income housing. Again, we often find ourselves funding small projects. So if you have a small project in mind at a Habitat for Humanity type level, that's anywhere from 2 to 6 single-family houses, those also are eligible. It's not just the big projects that we fund. Let's see, what else? The kinds of things that we pay for equipment and the labor to install that equipment only. We don't pay for personnel costs. We don't pay any sort of indirect costs. The energy measures being installed have to be installed in living space or common areas. We don't subsidize square footage like a basement, for example, that kind of thing. We do work with, or we have working with us, a consulting architect, because unfortunately I'm neither an architect nor an engineer. His name is Paul Knight. Those of you who have participated in this program in the past, Paul's been around a long time. He's very smart, very driven, and you may recognize the name. He monitors our projects that have been selected for funding, or for that matter, even at the application stage, monitors their planning, he monitors their construction, and in order to get a final payment under our program, you must pass a final site inspection on his part. If you go ahead and contact me, I can provide you with his contact information, because when you submit an application to us, you should also submit preliminary construction drawings to Paul so that he can calculate a grant amount that you might be eligible for, can also make sure that your program or your project will meet our energy standards. If you have additional questions besides taking the opportunity to ask some today, my contact information is on the last page of this presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions by phone or email that you might happen to have. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rick. As you can see on the last slide, the application is now up. This information is also at the end of the presentation. You can go to illinoisenergynow.org, which will take you to the DCEO website, and you can find the applications to all of the programs that we're talking about today. I'm going to turn the presentation over now to Sally, who's another one of our grant managers, who's going to talk about both the public housing as well as the residential retrofit program. So, Sally?
Hello. I hope it's as nice wherever you are as it is here in Springfield today. And I'm being sarcastic. It's very hot in Springfield. Our public housing and our Elevate program both cater to or target with the public housing authorities. That's mostly Kate's program out of U of I in Champaign. But the HUD Section 8 multifamily projects and the HUD 811, which is the supporting housing units, and HUD 202s, which is supportive housing for the elderly, and then U.S. Department of Ag's 515, which is for developmentally disabled. Elevate and Kate's PHA program both seek out projects at these kinds of buildings. And Historic Chicago Bungalow, which I'm jumping ahead just for a second, it focuses strictly on the bungalows in the city. The purpose of these programs is to provide technical service, help with applications. They educate the staff, and they train residents. There's information on all the incentives and assistance with the applications that can be answered by the staff members. And the grants are provided on a wide range of gas and electric incentives. Now with Kate, the maximum grant amount is $450,000. Now Elevate also has some funding opportunities available for multifamily building owners. They can answer many more questions about that. I'm not that familiar with the loaning part of the program. But they do the same as Kate as far as coming out and helping people. They do energy assessments. They help with the application process, and they will design efficiency programs. And again, it's in the same utilities: North Shore, Nicor, Peoples, Ameren Gas and Electric, and ComEd. Their information is on one of the slides to get in touch with them, and they're on the call, I'm sure, if you have specific questions when I'm finished. Now, the Chicago Bungalow Association is a little different in that they are strictly deal with the Chicago, the bungalow belt, as they call it, and they do mostly weatherization type projects. You know, they do cracks and ceilings, draft ceiling in attics and basement sidewalls. They do insulation, weather stripping. They are available. They're great to help you determine. If you go to their website, you can plug in the information on your home and see if it is considered a vintage home or a Chicago bungalow.
Great, thanks, Sally. One other program that the Department of Commerce offers that's part of our sort of umbrella of residential retrofit is the weatherization program. It's technically called the Illinois Home Weatherization Assistance Program. That's administered by our sister office, the Office of Energy Assistance. And these programs are run throughout the state in every county by designated community action agencies. And if you follow the link to the Office of Energy Assistance website, they'll tell you who the appropriate community action agency for your given region is, and you can work with them. As we said before, all of our applications are up online now for you to apply to, and you can also work through the different program partners that we have, and we provided links to their applications. Illinois Energy Now is an ongoing program. We're just wrapping up technically our first quarter. It's been a little bit of effort to restart after the last couple of years. Funding is distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. You must apply for the funds in the program year when the program is initiated. And for affordable housing construction projects, construction has to begin before May 31st, and the applications have to be received by April 14th. For our other programs that we partner with, applications are accepted on a rolling basis and are available as the funds are available. So get your applications in now, and the drop-dead deadline for those is April 1st, 2017. Finally, I just wanted to tell everyone about the Trade Allies program. It's another program that our office helps to administer. It's for vendors, contractors, consultants. It's a great way to get registered and get connected and get involved in the programs and services that we offer to get on the radar of both our programs as well as those of our project partners who are always looking for assistance in administering the programs and actually doing some of the work. This is the contact information that will be available for you guys if you want to contact Sally or Rick directly about their specific programs. And like I said, that was just sort of the overview of what we have and who we are. Thank you again to Scarlett and Illinois WorkNet for helping us to arrange this, and we're very excited to get the program up and running again and really produce some great energy savings. And let us know if you have any questions. So thanks for all taking time out of your day to be part of our webinar today.
We'll give everyone a couple minutes to submit questions if they have them now. Otherwise, we can wrap up. We're getting a couple questions in. The affordable housing budget, we had a question on how long will they last. We have projects coming in at various stages. We have some applications now. We'll be accepting them all year. So it's really hard to say depending on what utility that the project area that the project is in. And what we're also trying to do now is, even if we run out of funds for this year, we're kind of getting everybody informed about the project for next year, because funding will increase for the affordable housing program.
On these things that
Where the question here is, can we expect to receive letters or IDA applications, as has been the case in past years? We're trying to phase that out if we can. We're trying to change a little bit our relationship with IDA, work a little bit more in harmony with them. What I have been doing more recently regarding these kinds of letters is, after you've submitted your preliminary construction drawings to Paul, and he calculates a grant amount, I've continued to, because it's not too much work for me, to make letters available to them confirming the grant amount that they're eligible for, and of course you're welcome to take that to IDA. I do still tend to, I encourage that you get those requests to me at least 2 weeks in advance of your needing them.
Okay, this is Deirdre. I'll take the next one. The question is, how are DCO grants that were approved last year but not funded be handled this year? We have grants that have been extended from last year that were funded. If you were not funded last year, then you would either have to apply to an open funding this year or wait till next year. So I'm not sure what program this is addressing. And we have time for a couple more questions. We're waiting for those. Okay, I believe this is a question probably for affordable housing.
The question is, what is the approximate approval time once an application is submitted? That can vary. I'm sort of uncomfortable with saying that setting a standard for how long it takes for an application to be approved. A lot depends on if you have all of the proper documentation and you've made it available to us, things like a proper W-9 for the entity that's going to receive the grant, and also an IRS tax status letter for that entity. If there's going to be a sub-grantee involved, there's additional documentation that I need. Also, you need to be able to provide a full range of final construction drawings and cut sheets and the Appendix E checklist to our consulting architect, Paul Knight. He's usually pretty quick about going through those things, but it still does take some time. And, you know, oftentimes your project architect, this isn't the only project that they're working on. So, yeah, I'm not real comfortable saying that we have a standard approval time that by which applications are accepted.
The next question is from Brenda, who says she's with a public housing authority and has worked with Kate Brown and the Illinois Public Housing Authority in the past. She wants to know if she should continue to apply to Kate only or if there's other opportunities within our program. So I think we sort of covered this by going over all of our different program areas, but Kate and the Illinois Public Housing Authority are primarily responsible for our public housing programs. You should continue to apply through her. Elevate Energy also has some bleed over into some of the public housing, so you might want to just right and look into those. But as Sally just pointed out, you can collect from both sources, so you should make the best application that you can. We will make the presentation available for download on our website at illinoisenergy.org. Are there any other questions out there for us? All right, well, thanks so much. Oh, looks like someone else is typing in another question. We'll give you another moment.
Question is, can you talk a little bit about the prescriptive versus the performance path? That's something that Paul Knight is still trying to adequately explain to me. As I pointed out, I'm neither an engineer nor an architect. My background is actually in economics. And Paul would have been participating with us here today, but he's going on vacation, a well-earned vacation, I might add. And if you will send me your question via email, I promise to get back to you in that regard, either through Paul or myself.
So Rick and Paul can follow up on this specific question offline. I don't think we need to take up people's time going into it right now. All right, so if there's no more questions, thanks again. Feel free to reach out to our staff and get excited about the great programs we have and all the savings that we're going to accrue in the next year. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a good